This is TWiT.
I think there is a desire to get more women into coding and software engineering. Did you do much research into the psychology of, what it would take? Like, how did you come up with, we're going to do a friendship bracelet? I mean, for me, that resonates with my childhood. We did friendship bracelets and the things, friendship, I don't know what they were, that you put on your shoelaces. There was something that we made that you put on your shoelaces. Anyway,
I remember, yeah.
Did you do much research into the psychology of what would appeal to that particular audience?
We did, and so there's a lot of research about like what keeps women in and out of software engineering. There's also a lot of opinion, and so I tried to base a lot of our decision-making process on both our own research and what we found that was out there in the world. And there's a lot to the stereotype of if I'm a computer, I need to like sci-fi. Sorry, if I'm a programmer, I need to be really into sci-fi. I need to go to Comic-Con. I need to care about these certain things because this is the archetype of the programmer. And so what we really wanted to do with this is kind of blow that out of the water and be like, guess what? You can like friendship and fashion and, things that are stereotypically a little more feminine, and also still be a programmer at the same time, because it turns out there's software in everything. And that's something that from the beginning is really been our mission, is to just show that. And, personally, I love sci-fi, and I've never been to a Comic-Con, but they look really cool. So none of those things are generally bad. But we just wanted to make sure people know that, all kinds of people can be programmers. And as far as how we found out about the friendship stuff, we literally talked to 200 girls. Like, we went to schools and just was like, what's interesting to you? Like, let us in your heads. Tell us what's interesting. And it was just that they wear the friendship bracelets still. Like, if you look at their wrists, they would have them all up their arm, of the, like the homemade ones. And so we were like, man, they're already wearing them. It's all they talk about. This is where I think we're onto something.
I guess you haven't been around long enough, but I'm kind of curious, like, what's been your experience in terms of women in technology and women in programming? I mean, are you starting to see a shift, or are we still a long ways off?
Something I've seen, like I said, I've been doing this for 16 years, so it's been a long time. Something I've seen in the past few years, which has been really amazing, is a lot more female role models emerging. I remember I found out who Marissa Meyer was when I was like, still like mid-career. And I was so excited because I was like, oh my goodness, this is someone like, she's into fashion and like, she's a girl, like she's proud of that. And she likes programming like I do. And I was so excited. But there wasn't, I think, those like visible figures earlier, or at least I didn't know of them. And now I see amazing people coming out of the woodwork, like Jessica Frizzell, who does a lot of open source work with containers. There are people like Amy Lubo, who does this really awesome, a lot of comics that have to do with programming. There's some really neat people, women out there coding. So that's really encouraging for me, I think. And that's something that we do at Jewelbots. We have a coding icon series where we highlight women in software that we admire. I think that's a really exciting change I've seen. So one thing a woman named Marie Wilson that used to work at the White House said is, you can't be what you can't see. And I'm really hoping with the emergence of a lot more role models, girls will be like, oh yeah, like that can be me. I don't need to be the first, which I think makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely. And in case people are wondering, I mean, I know the companies that I work for, I'm sure that Randall works for too, are really concerned about this. I mentioned Cornell, who is where my son is going. They're really trying to bump up that ratio. In fact, they I don't know if this was by coincidence or not, but their new president of Cornell actually is a software engineer. She was a software engineering major, and she's done a lot of really cool work in AI and machine learning. And now she's the president of the school. So I think that was part of their effort to try to turn this around. But it really is important. If you think about even this, just using this product as an example, this is something that not just girls but boys might be interested in too. And without having that perspective on things, I just think it's really important for the whole industry. Like, it's really valuable to have different perspectives, whether it's gender perspectives or racial perspectives, or without going too far on this, when you're trying to build a good product, it's helpful to have as many different kinds of views on it as possible. And so if you want to keep buying really cool products for yourselves or your family, Christmas is coming up, by the way, this might be a good one for Christmas. It's really important to have all sorts of people involved in the development process. So I'm becoming more and more passionate about this over time. So that's my little speech. My speech is over.